Hello, Mary. You're looking at cream today, and the first thing we're going to take a look at are the very many different kinds on the market and what we should be doing with the different kinds. I believe we spent £18 million or something as retailers last year on cream.
Seems a vast amount, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
First of all, there's single cream, which is the most reasonable of the creams, and that's the runny pouring cream. The one thing you can't do with it is whip it. But otherwise it's very useful for coffee or enriching dishes, and I use it with double cream, half double cream and half single cream in most recipes to whip equal quantities of each to get a nice volume. And of course it's more reasonable than buying all double cream.
It's just over half the price of double cream, isn't it, I think?
That's right, yes. And also when you're buying cream, if the recipe says half a pint of double cream, don't buy 4 little tiny 2.5 ounce ones, because this makes it more expensive. Buy half a pint, because that's cheaper, or a pint, which is cheaper again.
Well, this lovely clotted cream, which does belong to Devon and Cornwall primarily, doesn't it?
Yes, but you can get it all over UK now, and it's a cooked cream, in fact. They take cream and they cook it for an hour, and then they let it go cool slowly, and they take that lovely crust off the top, and that is the clotted cream.
Really?
And that is the only cream which I find freezes satisfactorily. And even then you must buy really fresh clotted cream, because if you get the cream that comes through the post to you, by the time you get it, it's about 4 days old, so I wouldn't freeze that. But if you're buying it straight from the shop, then it freezes beautifully.
And what about the soured cream, which is much more readily available now than it used to be, I think?
It is. Soured cream is particularly useful for savoury dishes when you want to add cream. The advantage is it is single cream, which of course is runny, but this is homogenised and it has a beautiful flavour. It's, when people say soured cream, they think of cream that's gone off. It is carefully, commercially soured, and it has a lovely fresh flavour. And it is thick. So you can take a thick dollop of it. We're going to use it in the recipe, so you'll see.
Yes, good.
It's a very good buy.
Now, these ones down in the front are the sort of longer-lasting ones, aren't they, with the tin, first of all?
Yes, the tinned one is very good for cooking. It's a very cheap way of buying cream, and of course it keeps indefinitely. Personally, I don't like it on top of strawberries or something like that, because it does taste a little bit cooked, and I'd far rather have it for cooking to add to a sauce, something like that. And then, of course, the glass jars are very useful to have, and they will keep 4 months on your larder shelf, and you don't have to have them in the refrigerator. This is thick cream. You can even whip it. If you add a little sugar, it'll whip up more easily. The long life cream is reasonably new, the newest of the creams, and this has a very good flavour. It's a pouring cream, and it keeps on the larder shelf for 4 months. There's no need with any of these 3 creams here to use refrigeration.
So what's the benefit of the long life compared with the one in the jar, say, if they last the same time?
Well, it's a pouring cream, and it has a really fresher flavour.
And it's cheaper, is it?
No, it's this is more expensive because it is a higher fat content cream.
Yes.
This is a super pudding, at least I think it is. There we are, it's a chocolate pudding. Could you get the, I've got one made in the refrigerator.
Got a wrapper on it to keep it nice and clean.
Yes.
Free from dust.
Now, what it is, Judith, this is one that's been, it looks after itself overnight.
Oh, they're a boon, aren't they?
It's layers of chocolate mixture, which is breadcrumbs, drinking chocolate powder, and coffee and sugar. And you put layers of that dry mixture with double cream, with single and double cream whipped together, and you layer it all up, and you do all that the night before, and then it soaks during the night, and it then gets the mixture in the middle becomes nice and sort of cakey. So first of all, take 4 ounces of breadcrumbs, and these are fresh breadcrumbs made from a new loaf.
And they freeze well, don't they, breadcrumbs?
They do indeed, yes. So, and add to that 2 level dessert spoonfuls of coffee. That's just ordinary coffee powder. And 4 spoonfuls of drinking chocolate. 2, 3. I'm not quite so heavy-handed as I am with the sherry.
No, I noticed.
and then 4 ounces of Demerara sugar. That's the, it comes in a bit crunchy when it's been, there we are. 4 ounces of Demerara sugar, that's the light brown one, and nice and crispy.
Then you stir it all together, obviously, and get them
And
all
the breadcrumbs,
blended.
I don't think you would believe that it would be breadcrumbs as soon as they become nice and chocolatey.
I think if you told people you were giving them a breadcrumb pudding, they wouldn't think much to it, would they? But as soon as
No,
you say it gets its colour, it looks lovely.
They'd say apple charlotte again, wouldn't they?
Yes.
There we are. Blend it well. And it's quite easy to know when it's blended enough because you can see that all the bread has been incorporated. So we start off with the dish. This is, you need about a 1.5 pint glass dish. So start off with the crumbs, like that, quite easily. And then I've already whipped the cream, and that is 1/4 of single and 1/4 of double, whipped together until they're well blended, and then it's fair, not too thick. You can see that isn't too thick, and then put it on like that, and just level it off. And then you see the moisture of the cream goes into the crumbs.
Oh, I see.
And makes it
So
cake.
mm.
There we are. Now there's no need for me to do any more because you can see
Get the idea.
how it works. And then you can layer it up right to the top, and then you cover it with a piece of stretchy paper or foil and put it in the fridge as it is now, and then leave it until it's all absorbed overnight. So I think all our puds today are the kind that you can
This
do
is
ahead.
a boon, especially if you've got to go out or work. Then it's marvellous. Shall I put that back in
Would
the
you
fridge?
put it back in the fridge? That's lovely.
Can I take that?
That's a good idea, and just stretch it
Is
out.
that the...
No,
Oh, that's the wrong one I've
Never
got.
mind.
Never mind. That's
I'll
the
put
one
it
I
back.
wanted.
There we are, and I'll put the cream away. Now the next one I'm going to do, Judith, is again just very, very quick. It's a ginger brisket roll, and it's very much on the same principle.
This
As
one
that
I
one.
do know. This one I for once know.
Do you?
Yes, it's
well,
a very good idea. It's very quick and easy, isn't it? And again, as you say, something you can do beforehand.
yes, a girlfriend who was a stewardess who was anti things that took a long time gave it to me. Now what it is ginger biscuits. Just a packet of ginger biscuits, and you take ginger biscuits and you spread them with cream like that, and then you layer them up like that so that you make a long sausage, and you do this and then you leave it overnight, and you'll need 1/4 pint of single cream and 1/4 pint of double cream whipped together, and half of it you use to sandwich these together like this, and then you can wrap it in foil and leave it in the fridge overnight, and you have a feel that's quite soft and spongy. You
I
see.
tell you what, I do soak mine in a drop of sherry, cooking sherry, before I put the cream between them.
So do I sometimes, but I can't be extravagant with the first recipe and then extravagant again. So it is quite a good idea. And in fact,
Nice flavour.
you can do it not neat sherry. You can sort of mix half and half with water, and then you just spread the top over with the cream to serve. And it's a very, very instant pudding.
And my immediate thought was, oh, it'll just look like ginger biscuits squashed together with cream. But when they do blend and you serve it, it doesn't look like them at all, does
Not
it?
at all, no. There we are. And then if you've got any stem ginger left over from Christmas, then you can put a little stem ginger on top, but we haven't because too many people in the family like stem ginger. And so you can put a few cherries over the top, maraschino cherries or something like that. So you do this recipe ahead the night before, sandwich a packet of biscuits together with half single and double cream mixed together, and then leave it soaking overnight, and then just put this cream over now.
There's something else I saw in the fridge. Is that the next thing?
That's right. Yes,
Creme brulee.
that's right. Can you get it out for me?
Oh, these look far too good today, Mary, I must say.
I think cream is one of those delicious things. But the great joy about this, I've always wanted to do creme brulee on a programme like this, but it is so extravagant, the real creme brulee, because you need a pint of double cream, that's 50p gone, and then you need egg yolks, and you've got to cook it as a custard. And then you have to do it in a dish that will go under the grill, and you put sugar on under the grill, and it's a bit tricky. But this is Diana's
Our
recipe.
producer's recipe, yes, I'm delighted about this because I've always thought it was a very technical sort of masterpiece to achieve creme brulee.
Well, this is very easy. What you need for the recipe is a quarter of a pint, that's this size, of double cream, and you whip that until it's thick, like this. Now I use one of these ordinary wire whisks because I find that cream is quite precious stuff. If you use a mixer and you don't watch it, you'll find that sometimes it could turn to butter. So I've already mixed that. And then the second ingredient is a carton of yoghurt, a big carton of plain yoghurt.
That's £1 2 ounces, in fact.
That's right. The cream comes in 5 ounces, which is quarter of a pint, and 10 ounces, which is half a pint, and then of course the 20 ounces, which is a pint. So there we are. All you've got is a carton of cream, 5 ounces, and then a large carton of yoghurt. And you can imagine the fresh bite of the yoghurt makes it very good. So take the dish, and I've already prepared one. This is one that I did last night, and so you can see the final result. So pour it into a dish, and it needs about 1.5 pint size dish, because we've got just under a pint of yoghurt, and then we've got a quarter of cream, and then we've got to leave room for the top. There we are, and level it off, and then we've got to put the sugar on. And this is the quick brulee, because I'm sure you must be thinking, well, you can't put that glass dish underneath the grill.
Yes.
Well, indeed you can't. And this one you don't have to. You take brown sugar, and this is when I was at college, we used to call this sugar Barbados sugar. And I went into the grocer's the other day and said I wanted Barbados sugar, and they looked at me, so I got a slate loose because they didn't know what it was. They call it soft brown sugar now, dark soft brown sugar. And you put 1/4 inch of brown sugar over the top.
Gosh.
Now you see that looks totally different to the one that we've got here. You see this one?
Just soaks through, does it?
That's right. And there's our 1/4 inch layer there. And that becomes like this one when you've soaked it overnight, and a little bit trickles down in the creamy bit underneath. And then it's also a little bit tacky now. And half an hour before serving, you sprinkle a little more. There we are. But you really must use the dark brown sugar, because if you use light brown you don't get this lovely colour. And it is, you know, sort of more or less instant.
Good enough to eat, as they say.
Yes,
And
remove those
very
two
painless.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very painless, and of course people think that all cream recipes are highly expensive. This isn't, because it's using yogurt,
Yes.
and you get this lovely creaminess, and it's almost an instant pudding.
You've got one more, haven't you, which we can get through, I think. Shall I put this back in the fridge?
Yes,
Shall I put them both?
that's lovely, thank you.
I'm going to raid that fridge fairly soon after we finish.
I'm sure you are. Now this one is especially for you, Judith, as you know.
Well, it's a recipe you gave me some time ago for syllabub, and I must say I find it invaluable. It's so quick, it's so easy, and I can do it beforehand.
Now, in fact, I've already made it. There are 2 bottles down by your feet, Judith. Can you bring those up, and then I can say what the ingredients are. This is in fact, I think it's an Elizabethan recipe, and it is cream. And what you do is you put double cream. Now, it's essential to use double cream. If you use single cream and double cream half and half, the whole mixture will be too runny. So you use half a pint of double cream, and then you use the juice only of 1 lemon, a large lemon, and then you add 2 ounces of caster sugar. You want caster because it dissolves more easily, and then you put the booze in. You see, now that I couldn't have put that sherry in that other recipe because they would all have had drink in. You want a fairly sweet sherry and cooking brandy. And you want to add about 4 tablespoonfuls of sweet sherry and 2 tablespoonfuls of brandy. Now you may say, perhaps everybody hasn't got all these particular things in their cupboard. You can use all sherry or all brandy.
And then you put it in these individual little glasses, or these are still above dishes, aren't they, the proper ones?
That's right. You put everything in the bowl, give it a whip until it's sort of this consistency or a little bit thinner. And you can put it in like that. That's one that you can buy in the shops. These are rather old ones, and they're very beautiful. And that's the consistency it ends
And you can
up.
leave that overnight. Mary,
That's
thank you
right.
very much indeed for all those ideas. And